Welcome to yoga class. Today we're going to get started in a standing position. So go ahead and open your feet to hip distance. Just let yourself rock forward onto the toes and then back onto the heels. Give yourself time to get grounded in your standing foundation. From here, start to open the arms, fingers away from each other. As you inhale, open the chest, bring the hands back. And as you exhale, bring the wrist forward, arch the back. Inhale, open the fingers away, open the heart. Exhale, round the spine, bring the fingers forward. Continue to move in this way. Inhale, opens the chest. Exhale, round the spine. Really feeling a stretch at the upper back. Allow your movement to follow your breath. Just allow yourself this time of exploration in the spine. Remember, with the inhale, the front of the body opens up, taking a little back bend. And then exhale, bring the heart in, belly button to spine. Now come back to neutral. As you exhale, lower the arms down. Inhale, lift your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, take your shoulders back and down. Let's take two more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back and down. And again, one more time. Now, as you bring your shoulders back and down, let the shoulders be heavy here. Take one hand to your belly, take your other hand to your heart. Pause. Close your eyes. With your eyes closed, notice how it feels to be in the standing foundation. If your balance feels off with your eyes closed, you're welcome to keep the eyes open. Now bring your awareness to your breath. Inhale deeply, feel the belly and the chest pressing to your hands. Exhale, feel the torso soften. Continue to lengthen the breath. Continue to feel the foundation of the soles of the feet. As you work with this breath awareness, notice if you have any intention for yourself for this practice today. Invite in whatever energy you feel would best serve you. Take another full round of breath. Exhale, release the arms down by your sides. Tuck your chin towards your chest. As you inhale, bring your left ear above your left shoulder. As you exhale, rotate chin to chest. Take the right ear above the right shoulder. Inhale to the left. Exhale to the right. Allow your movement to follow your breath as you move from side to side. Know that by taking half circles, this is much safer for your neck than circling all the way around. This way you're not compressing the cervical spine. Enjoy the stretch at the neck as you move from side to side. You might even close your eyes during this movement and feel the sensation. Start to even out the sides, eventually bringing your chin back towards your chest. And on your next inhale, lift your chin, gaze is forward. Keeping the feet at hip distance. Rocking back into the toes and into the heels. Continuing to feel that grounded foundation. As you ground down through the feet, rise up through the crown of the head. Now start to heel toe the feet open wider. Take your time to do this. Look down to your feet. Make sure your feet are in line with each other so you don't have one foot forward and one foot back. Now you want to have your legs open wide enough to where you still feel that you have control in your standing foundation. You don't want to feel that the legs are going to rip apart. So figure out where that distance is for you and start to rock the hips from side to side. Just gentle rocks from side to side. Start to feel the groin area as you do this. And then when you're ready, draw circles with the hips. As you circle the hips around, notice where you feel the sensation. Decide if you want to make those circles bigger. So to make the circles bigger, taking the glutes back further, now you'll feel the stretch moving into the upper thighs, the inner thighs, the hamstrings. You can take your hands to your hips if you prefer. Now as you're circling around, be aware that you might hear some cracking and popping, and that is totally normal during movement. Just know that it's air being released from the joint. It's nothing that you need to worry about as long as you're not having pain. Now draw circles in the opposite direction. Remember, the circles can be as big or as small as you'd like. We're really going to be working with mobility and fluidity today. Take inventory of the legs and the hips as you circle around. And start to let those circles become smaller, eventually finding your way back to center. Now keeping wide legs, hands at the hips. Inhale, open the heart, bring the elbows towards each other. As you exhale, send the hips back. Start to fold forward just halfway. So you're reaching the crown of your head forward, reaching your tailbone back. Now with the legs straight, you'll feel a more intense stretch, particularly at the hamstrings. If the stretch is too deep, you can take a micro bend in the knees. You might even want to take a bend in the knees and see which option's working best for you. You might even play around with bending the knees on an inhale breath and then straightening the legs as you exhale. I'm starting to stretch and open up the legs. And remember, you can stay still if that's more comfortable in your body. Now you've got the option to stay in this half lift, or you can start to fold a little deeper. So the hands are going to move from the hips down towards the ground. Now, if your fingertips don't reach the ground, that's all right. You can take a block to your hands. Remember, the block has got 3 different levels of height. So the block is going to bring the floor up to you if you need to. Use your props. If your fingertips or your hands meet the ground, then you might not need the block at all. Now, if you're taking the fold option, release the head so that it's pointing down to the mat. Feel a deeper stretch in the back area. Whichever option you took, breathe. Notice your breath. Take a deep inhale to the top of the breath. Exhale, open the mouth, let it go. Couple more rounds of breath. On your next inhale breath, take a half lift. Pause here for an exhale. Transition the hands from the ground or the block back to your hips. Inhale, lift the crown of the head up. Come back into your wide-legged stance. From here, heel toe the feet towards each other. So we're bringing the feet together now. So bring the big toes to meet. Keep a little space at the heels, maybe just half an inch or an inch. Now take a moment to notice how it feels to stand with your feet together. Let your arms rest by your sides. Inhale, reach the arms up. Now, as you exhale, bring both of your arms over to one side. Send the hips to the opposite direction. Make sure that your top bicep is above your ear. Feel the side body open up and decide if you want to lower the bottom arm. This is also a really nice option that helps us with our stability. Now reach through the fingertips, get a deeper stretch. Feel the entire stretch. Inhale, lift the arms up. Bring the palms together. Exhale, take the arms opposite direction. Feel into the stretch. Find your alignment by positioning the bicep above the ear, and then decide if you want to lower your bottom arm. Reach through the fingertips. Continue to breathe with intention. On the next inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, bring the arms down. Inhale, reach the fingers out. Exhale, bring the hands in. Inhale, take the arms out. Exhale, bring them into the midline. Continue to move with your breath, getting mobility in the shoulders. Noticing how this feels in your body. Know that at any point, if you want to open the feet wider, you are welcome to do so. If you're feeling uncomfortable in your standing position, take a micro bend at your knees, feet hip distance, and pull the belly button towards the spine. That's going to feel better for your low back. So anytime you're in a standing position, you want to make sure that you're not locking the knees out. That's going to create more of an arch in the low back. You want to soften the knees and continue your movement. Now you might feel the shoulders starting to fatigue. Strengthening this area. On your next exhale, bring the hands down. Give the shoulders a break here. Coming into the legs now. Bring the feet together. Start at the middle of your mat, positioning yourself so that you have the length of the mat to work with. Bring your hands to your hips. Take your right foot behind your left. Pause. Feel stability in both legs, now with the legs crossed. Lift your left foot, take it over, and then cross the right behind it again. So we're going to continue to move in this way. Each time the right ankle crosses behind the left foot then moves over. Once you get to the very end of your mat, you're going to do that on the right side. Left ankle comes behind the right foot steps over. Left goes behind the right steps over. Continue this movement all the way to the opposite end of the mat. Working with our hip mobility and just allowing our bodies to move in a way that we usually don't. Now, next time you have the right foot beside the left, we're going to make our way back to the middle of the mat where we started. So the right ankle goes behind the left foot comes over, right goes behind, left works over, all the way back to the middle of the mat. Take a breath here. Now on your next inhale, you're going to lift one knee. As you exhale, step it over to the same side. Bring opposite foot together. Inhale, lift the knee. Exhale, step it over. Opposite foot meets. Inhale, lift the knee. Exhale, step it over. Opposite foot meets. Continue this movement. until you get to the end of the mat. Then move opposite direction. Inhale, lift the knee. Exhale, step it over. Opposite foot meets. Inhale, lift. Exhale, step. See if you can move in this way with your movement following your breath. As you move, also notice how the hip feels of the leg that you're taking your knee lifts. We're going to work our way back to the middle of the mat to where we started. And once we get to the middle of the mat, pause here, take a round of breath. Let your arms relax by your sides. Inhale deeply to the top of the breath. Exhale, open your mouth, take a sigh of relief. Now open the feet hip distance. If the feet are together, come into practicing a standing balance. I'll demonstrate in the free space. Know that if you need support, you just need enough space at the wall to position one hand. So you've got the wall for support, maybe even the windowsill, whatever feels appropriate, maybe even a chair if you have one close by. So using a prop or not, starting with feet hip distance, looking down to your feet, making sure there's enough space for one more foot of yours to fit there. Lift one knee. Now, as you lift that knee, take the same side hand to your shin. Now, as you're holding your shin with your knee bent, feel the foundation at your standing foot. Feel the foot working to hold your body up, and then decide if you want to draw circles with your lifted foot to get ankle mobility. Remember, you can always bring your opposite hand to the wall space if you need support. If you're taking the circles, circle around opposite direction. Then release your hand, set that foot down, distribute the weight evenly between both legs, take a full round of breath. Exhale, let it go. Now we're going to lift opposite knee. Take the same side hand, palm to shin. Try it in the free space or bring your opposite hand to the wall or a chair for support. If you're in the free space, hand is going to come to the hip. You've got the option to take circles with the big toe. Now, inviting in some mobility for this ankle. Feel the foundation now at this standing foot. Feel the legs strengthening, and then draw circles opposite direction. Now release your hand and bring the foot down. Now both feet are grounded. Lift the heel of one foot, so you're just on your toes. Draw circles with your knee. As you draw circles with your knee, feel a nice stretch at the arch of the foot into the toes. Getting fluidity in the leg. Letting the tension go from the foot. Circle around opposite direction. Bring this foot down, shift the weight over, lift opposite heel. Toes are still connected. Draw circles with the knee. Feel the stretch now in this foot. When you're ready, draw circles opposite direction. Lower the heel, distribute the weight between the legs. Look to the feet, make sure they're at hip distance. Now giving the legs a break, coming back into the upper body. As you inhale, lift your arms, wrists in line with the shoulders, fingers in opposite directions. Pause here. set it up. Inhale again. And as you exhale, cross your right arm over your left. Bend your elbows so your fingertips are facing up towards the ceiling. See if you can bring the back of your hands together, or maybe the palms meet. Now lift your elbows. As you lift your elbows, feel a deeper stretch at the right shoulder, the upper back. Hold this lift. Take a few rounds of breath. Remember to soften the knees. Take a micro bend to support the low back. On your next exhale breath, slowly unwind the arms. Inhale, reach the fingers away from each other. Exhale, now cross the left arm over the right. Bend the elbows. Fingertips are facing up to the ceiling. See if you can connect the hands. Lift the elbows. As you lift the elbows, hold here. Deepen the breath. Maybe even close your eyes and bring awareness to where you're feeling the sensation. Exhale, unwind the arms. Inhale, reach the fingers out. Exhale, bring the arms down. Inhale, lift one arm and start to make circles. You can bend your elbow, you can keep your arm straight. Come back to taking a micro bend in the knees. Now, the arm can move in circles. Maybe there's no particular pattern, but as you move your arm, you're going to feel the shoulder working, but you're very gently deciding how fast you want this movement to be. So we're getting mobility in the shoulder joint. You'll also notice how fast or how slow your arm wants to move. The next time the arm reaches up, slowly let the arm and the hand float down like a leaf from a tree. Lift opposite arm. Start to use the space around you. Keep a micro bend in the knees. Decide if you want to bend the elbow or keep the arm straight, and let that arm work around in circles or in no particular pattern. Feeling the mobility now in this shoulder. Taking slower, softer movements if you have a limitation. And the next time the arm rises up, slowly let the hand and the arm float down like a feather. Now lift your arms so that you can bring your palms behind your head. Interlace your fingers and just gently feel the head cradled by the palms. Slowly bring your chin towards your chest without pushing your head down. Just let the hands rest here. Feel a nice stretch at the back of the neck. Notice if you feel the stretch traveling deeper. Down the shoulders, across the upper back, maybe even going into the mid-back. And on your next inhale, lift the chin, gaze to center, gazing forward. Keep the hands and the elbows as they are. Take an inhale breath. As you exhale, lower one elbow down towards the mat. Feel the opposite elbow lift up towards the ceiling. Inhale, take it back to center. Exhale, move in the opposite direction. Inhale, center. Exhale, back to side body stretching. Movement is following the breath. Go at your pace. And focus on just moving the arms. The torso will follow. Practice keeping the legs as still as possible. Let's take one more on each side. Once you find center, keep the arms as they are. Now getting a little twisting action here. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, rotate your elbows and your torso to one side. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate to the other side. Inhale, center. Each time you exhale, twist opposite direction. And as you're twisting, practice keeping the low body still. Practice just moving from the waist up. Notice what the body wants to do. Notice how the back feels. We're warming up the spine with gentle spinal twisting. Soon we'll come into some deeper spinal twisting. Find center. Release your hands. Drop the arms down by your sides. Take a full round of breath here. Exhale, open your mouth, let it go. Bring your hands to your hips. Heel toe the feet open wider, just like we did before, coming into a wider stance. So your feet are now wider than the hips. Bring the heels in, send the toes out. Lift the toes, practice spreading them wide. Now straighten the arms, bring your palms towards your thighs. Gently bend your knees. Take your palms to the middle of your thighs. Make sure that you're not pressing on your knees. Thumbs are going to be in. Now with your knees bent, you can shift left to right, right to left. If this is easy for you and you want to be challenged, you can lift your toes. Keep the rest of your feet connected down to the mat. Now if this is hurting your knees, you're going to want to stay still. And we'll all meet in stillness now. Think about lowering the tailbone to the mat. Feel the spine lengthen. Take an inhale breath. We're going now for a deeper twisting. Exhale, dip one shoulder to center. Inhale, torso to center. Exhale, opposite shoulder dips. Each time we inhale, the torso is centered, and each time we exhale, opposite shoulder dips. One more on each side. Back to center. Taking the heel of your hand on each side to the hip crease. Sit low again. Straighten the arms, get traction in the spine, and then press your feet to the mat. Straighten your legs. Back to our wide-legged stance. Take a full round of breath here. Exhale, open the mouth, let it go. Look down to your feet. Bring the toes in. So now the toes are in line with the heels. And then bring the feet 1 foot placement closer. So we still have a wider stance, wider than hip distance, but we've got a little more control with this shorter distance. Now hands are going to come to the hips. We practice taking circles with the hips. This time we're going to challenge ourselves a little bit more. We're going to practice making the infinity symbol. So if you're not sure what that is, it looks like an upside down 8. An 8 that would be laying on its side. So soften the knees. Practice drawing this figure 8 with your hips. Now we're going to try this in both directions, and you'll notice that one direction is going to be easier than the other. So just let the hips move in and out of this sideways 8 or this infinity symbol. If you feel like you need more space, you can open the feet wider. This is totally up to you. Let the hips get this mobility. Knees are soft, feet are grounded. Now practice moving opposite direction. This might feel confusing at first. Take your time. Pause when you need to. Let the hips really move with fluidity. And start to let the circles of the 8 slow. Find your way to center. When you're ready, heel toe the feet, back to hip distance. Once the feet are hip distance, pause here, take a full round of breath. Relax the arms by your sides. Inhale through the nostrils. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Now soften the knees and then fold forward. You've got the option to fold halfway, bringing your hands to a chair or to the wall. Or you've got the option to fold completely, letting the arms dangle. Now, with the arms dangling, your hands or your fingertips might meet the mat. You've got the option to take your hands to opposite elbows so you're framing your head with your arms. This is going to provide more traction for the spine. This is going to help decompress. Now, if the back of your thighs are tight, bend your knees. That's going to feel more comfortable and accessible. If you're more open at the back of the thighs, then you can straighten your legs for a deeper stretch. So maybe you try both and see what's available in your body today. Another option would be to bend the knees as you inhale and then straighten the legs as you exhale. Whatever you choose to do, completely release the head and the neck so that you're not holding your head up. That way you're not compressing the cervical spine. Now, wherever you are, bring the legs to stillness. If your hands are grabbing opposite elbows, release, let them go. So the arms are now dangling. Look at your feet. Bring your feet together so the big toes meet, little space between the heels. Take your hands in front of your toes. Now, if your hands or your fingertips do not meet the mat, you can take a block or prop underneath your hands to help make the connection. So the block is bringing the floor up to you. Now take a deep bend in your left knee. With your left knee bent, your right leg is going to straighten. Now keep the legs as they are. Take your hands or your hands and your block to the outside of your left foot. So your torso is facing your left leg, the left knee is bent, the right leg is straight. Feel a nice deep stretch going up the right leg into the right hip. Relax the head and the neck. Breathe. Now bend the right knee. Both knees are bent. Take your block or your hands back in front of the toes. Keep the right knee bent. Press into the left foot to straighten the left leg. When you're ready, take your hands or your block to the outside of the right foot. Remember, keep that right knee bent. Straighten that left leg. Torso is rotated over to the right, to the outside of the right leg. Pause and breathe into this stretch. Let the tension release. Now bend the left knee. Both knees are now bent. Take your hands back in front of your toes. Inhale, take a half lift by bringing your palms to your shins. Reach the crown of your head forward. Send the tailbone back. Exhale, fold. Nice deep stretch for the back of the body. Take a couple more rounds of breath in this forward fold. Hands grounded or hands onto a block or blocks. Exhale, open your mouth, let it go. On your next inhale, take a half lift. Look to your feet. Exhale, cross your right ankle behind your left. Now, as you do this, you might want to walk your hands over to the left to reposition the centering of your body. Practice straightening both legs and then fold. So remember, if the hands don't meet the mat, you can always invite that block in for support. Now, as you fold, practice keeping the legs as straight as you can. And practice letting the top of your head position down towards the mat. Continue to breathe into this shape. On your next inhale, take a half lift. Walk the hands to the center of the mat. Take the right foot beside the left. Inhale, palms to shins, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, cross the left ankle behind the right. Reposition the hands to get centered. Straighten the legs as much as possible. And when you're ready, fold. Position the top of the head facing down to the mat. Inhale, take a half lift. Exhale, bring the left foot back beside the right. Come into a forward fold. Bend the knees deeply. Take your time to slowly breathe and roll up to a standing position. Pressing your feet to the mat, using any prop like a chair, for example, if you need help and support to come to standing. As you find your standing position, bring your arms by your sides. Open the feet hip distance. Soften the knees. Pull the belly button towards the spine. Enjoy a full round of breath, breathing into the top of the breath. Exhale, open the mouth, release, let it go. Now on your next inhale, reach the arms up, fingertips towards the sky. Keep the legs, the feet grounded. Keep the hip points facing forward. On your next exhale, take your right arm back, bring your left fingers forward. Inhale, lift all the fingers straight up, back to center. Exhale, left arm comes back, right fingers forward. And then repeat, inhale, lift up. Each time you open the arms, focus on just moving the arms. Try to keep the rest of the body still. We've got one more on each side. Inhale, lift the fingers up. Exhale, bring the arms down. Take a full round of breath here. Check to make sure the feet are at hip distance. Maybe lift the feet, reposition the toes, spreading the toes, getting grounded at the soles of the feet again. Maybe shifting forward and back. As you shift forward and back, alternatively lifting the toes and the heels, feel the strength in the thighs. And then press the feet firmly into the mat. Micro bend at the knees. Arms are by your sides. Practice taking one arm behind your back, just enough to where your hand can reach your straight arm above the elbow. Now we're going to get deeper into the neck. Lower your head towards your dangling arm. And feel a nice stretch at the side of the neck of your bent arm. All you need to do is lower your ear towards your shoulder. Keep a micro bend in the knees. Now you can try something else. Keeping the ear low to the shoulder, you can practice rotating your chin towards the shoulder. Feeling this stretch. Now in a different part of the neck, go back to your ear above your shoulder. Decide which option feels best and take that for a couple more rounds of breath. Pay attention to keep a micro bend in your knees to support the low back. Think about pulling the belly button towards the spine. And gently bring your chin towards your chest. When you're ready, lift your chin, gaze forward. Release the arm that's behind your back. Let this arm dangle down by your side. Take the opposite arm behind your back. Reach your hand for your upper arm. Now when you're ready, move your head towards your straight arm. Feel a stretch at the opposite side of the neck. Keep the micro bend in the knees. Keep pulling the belly button towards the spine. This is going to feel much more comfortable in your body. Now this is the point where you can decide if you want to rotate your chin towards your shoulder. And then bring your ear back towards your shoulder. Decide which one of those options feels best in your body and then stick with it. A couple more rounds of breath. Gently bring your chin towards your chest. When you're ready, lift your chin. Release the arm that's behind you. Both arms are now by your sides. Firmly feeling the feet pressing to the mat. As the feet are rooted down, the crown of the head is rising up. Take a full round of breath. Let your palms face forward. Exhale, let it go. Know that you've reached a lot of parts of your body. You've had a full body practice, all from a standing position, all with your feet grounded down. It's time now for us to come into relaxation. I highly recommend taking Shavasana posture. It is known as the most important part of our practice. It gives us time not only to relax and be present in our bodies, but it lets us integrate all of this work that we've done through our movement. So coming into our Shavasana, we're going to lower from standing down to the mat. As you lower down, you can use the option of a wall or a seat to help you down, or you can move from standing down to the mat by lifting the arms up on an inhale breath. Exhale, coming into that forward fold, bending the knees deeply so that you can connect the hands to the mat, stepping one foot back, coming onto the shin, and then doing that on the other side. From here, the feet come to one side. Coming onto the seat, we bring the feet in front. We've got the option to straighten the legs, or we've got the option to support the low legs with our blocks. So the blocks go underneath the calf muscles. If we want a higher lift, we can take a pillow or a blanket onto the blocks. That's going to be a little more comfortable. And then once we have that set up, bring the entire back, shoulders, and head onto the mat. So remember, the blocks are an option. You can take them or not. Really taking a moment to feel grounded and supported. Creating space between the feet, creating space at the armpits. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Before you settle in completely, you can take circles with the ankles and wrists. And then circle around opposite direction. And let the arms come down. Let the feet find stillness. Let the eyes close. Let your body be heavy. Give yourself permission to rest. Wherever your thoughts are going, just practice lengthening the breath. As you lengthen the breath, you're able to calm your own nervous system. Inviting in feelings of peacefulness, calmness, and relaxation. Gently start to rock your head from side to side. And start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Inviting movement back into your physical body. Lift your legs, bend your knees. Take your hands to your shins. Press your tailbone to the mat. And then release the legs. Roll over onto one side. And take your time to press up to a comfortable seated position, taking your time to get there. Finding your most comfortable seat. Position the shoulders above the hips, ears above shoulders. Deep inhale. Exhale, open the mouth, let it go. Bring the palms together, thumbs to the heart center. Inhale, feel the chest pressing to the thumbs. Exhale, sigh of relief. Tuck your chin towards your chest, bowing your forehead down to your fingertips, taking a moment of gratitude to yourself for your energy and effort in your practice. Feel this gratitude for showing up for yourself. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. It is my honor to guide you. The light in me sees, honors, and recognizes the light within each and every one of you. Namaste.